So to finish off chapter 1, we're going to discuss the 4 levels of measurement. And these levels of measurement determine the types of statistical analysis that can actually be performed on the data that you have gathered and organized. So the first one that we're going to talk about is this nominal level of measurement. And nominal is the lowest level of measurement. So if we have a scale in terms of the level of measurement here, we would have this being the lowest and this part being the highest. Level of measurement. So when we're talking about the lowest level, or this nominal level, we're talking about data that can be only represented by labels or names. So when we're talking about nominal data, we are in a situation where they have no order. Some examples of nominal data would be classifying M&Ms by their color, or identifying players on a team as offense or defense. So these have no order. They can only be grouped together into labels or named. And for this reason, when we think of nominal, we know that they can only be classified and counted. The next level of measurement that we're going to be looking at here is ordinal level. Ordinal level of measurement is the second least specific level of measurement that we have here. And this is when we know rankings but not the magnitude of differences. So some examples of ordinal data would be student ratings of professors, top 10 lists of MBA graduate schools. Sure, we know the ranking, but does somebody being 10th mean that they're necessarily twice as good as somebody that is in 5th ranking? No. So these level of measurements, ordinal, can only be ranked and counted. The penultimate level of measurement, the second highest level, is known as our interval measurement. interval measurements, unlike ordinal, the interval or the distance between values is meaningful. So a great example of the interval system, interval level of measurement rather, would be the Fahrenheit temperature scale that we use here in the United States. Also, dress or pants sizes. So the distance between these sizes is meaningful. One of the important parts that's going to help us in determining whether something is interval or whether it is ratio level is whether or not there is a natural 0 point. So with interval data, all interval data has this characteristic. There is no natural or logical 0 point. So this interval level we can use because it's based on a scale with known units of measurement. So interval level are going to be known units of measurement, known units. But there doesn't exist a natural or logical 0. So it's based on a scale with a known unit of measurement. And the interval between the distance is meaningful. All right, last but certainly not least, the most specific of all of the levels of measurement that we have here is going to be called our ratio level. And the ratio level has all of the characteristics of the interval level and now the ratios between the numbers are meaningful. That's why it's called the ratio level of measurement, right? And when we have a ratio level, so some of the examples here, right? It's always easiest with examples, are wages that we get. Changes in stock prices. And the height of individual students. So when we're talking about a ratio, the 0 point has to represent the absence of whatever that characteristic is. Right? The absence of wages if you have a wage of 0. The absence of height if your height is 0. The absence of a change in stock price if the stock price didn't change. Right? The difference of them stays 0. So when we talk about ratio, we're talking about a meaningful 0 point. And we're talking about ratios between values. So there you have it, broken down and in a nice little spectrum there from our lowest level of measurement to our highest level of measurement. Our nominal, which is classified and counted, so sorting M&Ms by color, sorting people on the field as offense or defense, or people on the court as offense or defense. Ordinal is when we rank or count stuff, so this is students' ratings of professors, this is top 10 lists. Intervals, that's when we have known units, like the Fahrenheit scale, but there's no natural zero. And a ratio interval, which has a meaningful zero, which always has to correspond to the absence of that characteristic, and when the ratio between those values has meaning, unlike the interval scale, where the ratio between those values does not have meaning. It is only the interval between those values that has meaning. All right, I hope that helps. That's all for chapter 1. Please read the part on ethics and statistics. We will have a class discussion about that rather than me prattling on about it on this video. Thank you so much.